Chautauqua County headquartered Howard Hannah Holt Real Estate offers comprehensive residential and commercial real estate sales, leasing and related services, including real property appraisals, property management, development services, vacation property rentals, and traditional rentals. Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. From the Access Channel 5 studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Channel 5. Continuing the traditions of Senior Report, we are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week, countywide, from 9 to 10 a.m. Join us by calling in live, emailing us, or checking out our social media. And now, from the Channel 5 studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
I'm here. Good morning, Chautauqua. Wasn't sure where I was there for a second. Good morning, everyone. I'm Doc Hamels, and welcome to Chautauqua Sunrise. We got a great show in store for you today. We're going to be talking about all kinds of things that are cool in the Westfield, Mayville, Ripley area, Brockton, and some things that you're going to take note of. So get your calendars out because you're going to be marking down dates here soon, too. Okay? If this is the first time you're with us, welcome to the show. Grab a cup of coffee, pull up a chair. I got a lot of things to talk to you about. I got so much stuff, I'm going to talk really fast. Can you listen quick? I hope so. Real quick, I just want to remind people that the Mayville Parade that we announced this past Monday, is on YouTube. You just Google Mayville Parade 2016 and up it comes. It's an hour and 45 minutes. What a great time. I squinched my face because I had to talk that long. Lots of fun. It was a great parade, and the crew, with Chris Burt and Chuck Kelsey's direction, set up a great situation for us to announce. There's 110 hits on YouTube for that particular show. I'm getting this information as we speak. This is live TV, and anyways, it's a great production. And in case you didn't make it or see it, or want to see yourself again, if you were in the show in the parade, you can have a look. Okay. On a real serious note, I just want to do kind of like my own personal opinion thing here. I don't usually do this, but I do right now. I think it calls for it. What's going on all over the place right now is getting pretty crazy in our country, and I just want to publicly say that I am 110% in support of our police agencies all over Chautauqua County in New York State and wherever I've been. Some people have a problem with that. That's up to you. My experiences have always been very positive. If I went too fast, I got a ticket, I deserved it. If I was in a car crash, which I was earlier this year, one of the first faces I saw was a police officer extending his hand to help me out. You cannot believe that good feeling was when you see an officer there and they're on the radio and they're summoning help and ambulances and things like that. And so my hats go off to you guys. This is a dangerous time, and I want you to be safe. I want all of us to take care of each other and look out for our police. They're looking out for us. We need to look out for them. So kudos to my buddies in the police agencies. Keep up the good work. You got my support, and I know a lot of us believe in you. Keep up the good work. All right. Moving right along, I want you to note that we have a new underwriter here at Chautauqua Sunrise, and it was earlier on. And I want to welcome the Holt Real Estate Group, the Howard Hanna. They are supporting us for the next 6 months, and it's just so cool. I'm so happy to have them, and we now have a full complement of underwriters. The show has been doing well, and we're so happy to have such great support from the community, because we hope we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, is sharing information and making things available to you. So thanks, Pete and Diana Holt, for supporting us here. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. All right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move right on to our announcements. If you have an announcement or you want some information to be shared, there's the information right there. You can contact us by Twitter or Facebook. If you have something you want to call in today, an announcement, a birthday, an anniversary, whatever, 753-5225. The guys will answer the call. They'll ask you what you want to talk about, and then they'll let me know that you're on the line, and we'll bring you on the air. Okay? All right. So let's get to what's going on in Chautauqua County. And I'll tell you right now, we have a little bit of sprinkle of rain now and then, but that's going to pass, and Chautauqua County is like blossoming. It's got all kinds of stuff going on. Let's go to Ripley, New York, right off the bat. Here we go. Today, happy birthday, Ripley. You're 200 years old. Today is the Ripley's bicentennial celebration at the Ripley Fireman's Field. Starting at 10 a.m. in about 53 minutes, there's going to be a Veterans of Valor Memorial dedication of all those personnel that were in service various times that were awarded special medals of valor, starting with the Medal of Honor all the way through the Purple Heart and so on. And that's going to be a great ceremony at 10 o'clock. At noon to 10 p.m. tonight, there's games, rides, vendors, and food. Let's see, I'm trying to think. 3 p.m. there's a Ripley Youth Wrestling Cornhole Tournament. I just played that the other day, I think for the first time, and my son and I got beat by like 12-year-olds. We got beat by everybody, so it's a very competitive thing, and you really got to be good at it. It's sort of like horseshoes for older people. 9:30 p.m. tonight, Memorial Lantern released by VFW 2769. And at 10 p.m., fireworks. There's a classic car show, a tractor pull, chicken barbecue, music, and more. And my buddy Jim Cunningham and his partner Sue Tillinson will be performing, and other folks over there. If you have any last-minute questions, 753-0046. Otherwise, show up. It's going to be a great day. And I have the distinct pleasure and honor to be the announcer for today's parade in Ripley, and I have never done a 2-parade weekend in my life. So this will be a new record, personal best. I'll be announcing 2 parades in 1 week. All right, let's keep on moving here. All right, a 2016 Chevy Malibu awaits you at the Westfield Memorial Hospital Foundation's Hole-in-One on July 15th. The golf tournament is going to be held at the Chautauqua Golf Club. This year's Chevy is a Butte Red LS, and it has a sticker price of about $24,000. We're hoping that this year's hole-in-one might be you. Golf committee chair is Patty DePalma. She's also the executive director there, and along with David C., who's the new car manager for Westfield Schultz. They help out with that car. Let's see, there's still a few openings for the tournament, and if you're interested, give them a call at 793-2338, and they'll talk to you all about that. And I will be there next Friday morning, selling raffle tickets, of course. So that's coming up if you like golf. Now let's go to Silver Creek, 20th Annual Laurel Run. I can't believe it's the 20th year already. This is taking place next weekend. Oh boy, I'll give you the highlights of this. There's a lot to it. This event was created by Silver Creek residents Wayne and Elaine Hoteling in honor of their oldest daughter who has Down syndrome. Laurel Laurel Run is an opportunity for the community to come together to demonstrate its support for people with disabilities. A wide array of events will be taking place, including, and I'm just going to touch on some of them. There's a kickoff breakfast at the Resource Center down in Jamestown, and there's going to be runners transporting the Laurel flags to Dunkirk. There's going to be, let's see, hang on. At 9 a.m. there's an 8K run. 8K, that's different, which offers $175 and $50 cash prizes for each of the three male and female runners that come across the line first. Registration for the fee for the run or the walks is $20 if you hurry, and then $25 after that. Okay, there's fun runs for kids 7 and under, and that takes place at 10:20 a.m. If you want more information, give them a call at 934-3952 or at the Resource Center 483-2344. You guys are doing a good job. You're sending me lots of information here. All right, let's keep on moving. Let's go to the another golf tournament. Okay, we upcoming have the third annual, Westfield Ripley Chautauqua Lake Golf Tournament for their wrestlers. It's a shotgun start at 9 a.m. on July 23rd. It's a 4-person scramble, and there's an 18-team limit, so give them a call if you're interested. It's $65 per player. You get 18 holes of golf and a cart, lunch, and there's going to be prizes. The tournament proceeds will benefit the students of Chautauqua Lake, Westfield, Ripley, and Panama. This will help pay for trips, equipment, camps, and clubs. For more information, contact Michelle Rowe at mf060784@gmail.com. Oh, and I forgot to say good afternoon to my friends in Jamestown, WRFA 107.9, low power to the people, because they will be listening to this show on the radio Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, let's go on to Infinity in Jamestown. Okay, Infinity Visual and Performing Arts and Southern Tier Brewing Company, this is going to be a cool event, are inviting local bands and musicians to register for the first annual Top of the Tier Musical Showdown. We used to call these Battle of the Bands in the old days. The fundraiser, which is held at Southern Tier Brewing Company, will take place on August 14th from 10 to 5 p.m. And event attendees will have a chance to vote for acts and choose the top of the tier champion. All right, now listen carefully. Interested bands or duos or solo acts are asked to fill out a short informational form and submit 2 to 3 minute video performance. Registration forms can be obtained at stopping at the Infinity Center, visiting the website for Infinity, or sending an email to apply@infinityperformingarts.org. This all has to be done by July 30th, and so on and so on and so on. All right, and we'll be talking more about this as we go along. If you do have any questions, you can give them a call at 664-0991. And if you're not familiar with Infinity, it's an awesome organization, and I highly recommend it. Okay, let's go to Bemis Point. The famous bicycle raffle. Bemis Point Library Raffle. There's a bike on display, as you can see, at the Hotel Lenhart. Tickets are available at the Bemis Point Library or Hotel Lenhart. 1 for $1, 6 for $5, and the drawing will be held on September 10th, coming up. In other information, we're going back to Jamestown. Infinity will be hosting a cultural world, that's hard to say, cultural world, too many R's, tour summer day camp from Monday, July 11th through Friday, July 15th at the Center for students 5 to 12. Join us on a whirlwind tour and explore a different culture every day through music, art, dance, theater, language, custom, and more. Okay, and just give you an idea, that's a real fun week for kids, so check them out, and you can look them up in the phone book. And again, if you have any questions, you can call them at, where did it go? I'll find it. 664-0991. Okay, let's now go to Westfield. My friends at the Great Discovery Center, Saturday, July 16th, a week from today, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. All right, listen to this. Wine in the Vines. Wine party out on the patio with the Bogarts. I know half the band. I know Sean McCain and Chris Ramaker. So what's going on? They have a Great Discovery Center, has now beer and wine from Lake Erie Wine Country. and they're going to have music, and you get a taste of New York with local cheese, crackers, Concord-inspired foods, and more. Christina McCain, who's been on the show a number of times, she always brings us something that has Concord flavoring in it. It's amazing what you can do with grapes. They put it everywhere. For questions, comments, please contact Christina at the Grape Discovery Center at 326-2003. And then it says, special note, Chris Ramaker is a member of the Channel 5 Board of Directors and volunteer right here at Channel 5. I know Chris for a long time and his family. All right, let's go to Westfield. The annual Westfield Antique Show, John Paul Wolf sent me this, sponsored by the Chautauqua County Historical Society. Oh no, it was Jason Sample. Wrong guy. They work together. We'll be celebrating its 78th consecutive year in 2016, and just like in past years, there's going to be a wide variety of items on display and are available for sale. This year's antique show will be held July 16th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sunday, July 17th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. So you can have wine the night before, and the next day you can come to the antique show and buy stuff. It's being held at Eason Hall at 23 Elm Street in Westfield, New York. There's a lot going on. The event will feature antique furniture, dining sets, glassware, silver jewelry, and much, much more. Over 20 different dealers will be in attendance. All right. This goes back to 1938, and it was started by Doc, not me, Doc and Edis Schulke, who organized this back in Westfield back all those years ago. Okay, there's going to be two well-known local antique dealers during it. Wait a minute. I should have read this ahead of time. Those two people, I see that now, there you go. The two were well-known local antique dealers at the time and so forth, so they started this whole thing. It's on Elm Street. If you want more information, I'll give them a call, 326-2977. So if you're antique buff, Westfield Antique Show next Saturday and Sunday. All right, let's see here. Did that. Back to Infinity. They have a student orientation that's going to be held on Thursday, July 21st at the Infinity Center. And also, they are having a summer day camp July 25th through July 29th. And that's for ages 8 through 16. And last time, for more information, call 664-0991. Randy Burt, help me out here. Give me a break. We're going to switch over to my buddy Randy Burt, who's got beef to share with you. Take it away, Randy.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait a minute. They haven't switched to you yet.
They don't want it.
There you go.
Bring the camera. The other day, Doc, I got a little love letter in the mail from the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey.
Port? You know people over there?
No. They're saying that on the 13th of June at 12:58 a.m., I drove over a bridge from New York to New Jersey without paying a toll.
Why?
I was broke. Because if anybody knows my car, it would never make it that far.
June 13th. I'm looking this up right now. It was a Monday morning.
Yep. And I was getting ready for work in a couple hours.
So what's the deal, though?
Well, if I don't pay $65 by the 15th of this month, they can do anything from, take away my license, get a bill collector after me.
You have no money, you told me.
I have no money, so. And I thought I was sleeping. I don't know if I drive in my sleep, but
you're having an out-of-body experience.
This has my license number.
Okay, so what are you going to do about it? Obviously, you weren't
I
there.
guess there's a place here I could check and send it to them saying that I was sleeping and I was like 500 miles away, but I just don't know. I've heard, people talk about this before, but you got to really watch it. I mean, if a lot of people probably just send them the money and say the heck with it, but not me.
Well, I had a family member that had a similar situation. They had a parking ticket in Buffalo, and he wasn't anywhere near Buffalo. As it turns out, they marked down the license plate by 1 digit off, and it was somebody else's. So give them a call. Be nice. I wouldn't say you were sleeping. I'd say you were probably getting ready for work, and give them the number and contact information for work so they can give them a call.
So
Don't mess
that's
with
just
them.
one of those crazy things you hear about.
Only you, Randy. Only you.
Well, Doc, I just want to thank you for the crew taking us to Meters last week.
Oh, it was a great time, wasn't
Food
it?
was excellent.
I told you it was.
And it was fun. We had the pie, we had the milkshakes, we used up all their milkshake containers, and
It was a bit odd because I looked across the table and every one of us had a milkshake, and it was like at a ice cream bar.
then there's one slob named Chris that sort of
Nah, hey,
dumped
wait
his-
a minute.
dumped his
What you
milkshake
talking
all
about?
over.
Things happen. It just kind of blobbed right out.
Well, I'm going to
Anyway.
let you get back to the show
Well,
here.
thank you, Randy. You get back to the camera.
Yeah,
where
I
you
got to get
belong.
back. Somebody's got to run it here. So.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Doc.
All right, get that. Keep us updated on your problem with the toll booths and all that stuff. Okay, folks, we're going to take a public service announcement and we're going to be right back. I'm Doc Hamels. You're watching Chautauqua Sunrise. Thank you.
By getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I bought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
I keep having these blackouts. It's not. Is it me or is it the camera? I'm having blackouts. Okay, welcome back. We're going to get right to it right now. My guest today is Arianne Correll, and we're going to give her the title today, the Arts and Crafts Festival Coordinator for the Westfield YWCA, and I want to welcome you to the show.
Thank you.
You're having a good, you've been laughing the whole time I've been talking here.
You're very entertaining. I can see this is going to be easy.
This is going to be a lot of fun. Arianne, thanks so much for coming on the show today. I'm really high on the Y. I'm high on any organization that wants to do good for others.
Well, the YWCA, we aren't allowed to call it the Y anymore. The YMCA has trademarked the Y. So we
You can't, but I can.
You can. You can and do, because everyone else does.
Everybody knows what it is.
It is the Y.
It's like, there's other organizations I know, the FFA. You couldn't use that. Or the Future Farmers of America. They said, we got that. You can't say that anymore. Crazy stuff. Okay, so you're with the YWCA in Westfield. And before we do go into all that, I always like to ask a little bit about yourself, because people, they want to know about our guests. So tell us about yourself, where you're from, and all that good stuff.
Well, I've been living in the Westfield area for most of the last 30 years. I live in Ripley on a farm on Route 5. I'm a realtor with Howard Hanna Holt Real Estate, your underwriter, full disclosure here. And I'm also the manager of the Westfield Farmers Market.
Oh, how cool. And they're raging right now?
Right now. I had to set it up before I came in this morning.
Oh my gosh.
So, and I serve on the board of the Chamber of Commerce and work at the Y as a volunteer about 10 hours a week.
You wear a lot of hats. Holy mackerel.
Well, Westfield promotes that. You know, it's a culture of community service in Westfield. Everyone I know is engaged, in addition to their regular job and their family job, they're engaged in community service. It's just what we do, and it's why Westfield is what it is. People drive through town and they're so impressed. And we have municipal governments that work very hard and do everything they can, but the citizens step right into, we don't wait for things to get done. We step in and work shoulder to shoulder.
You know, I was born and raised in Buffalo, and I've lived in Chautauqua County now for like 43 years or something like that. So I'm a Chautauquan. There's no question about it. And people will say, well, what's it like living down there? Or, how, don't you miss the city and all that stuff? I go, I love living where we do. As you know, I'm from Ripley as well. And it's not Mayberry, but it's pretty darn close to a really nice lifestyle. It really is here.
Well, when you have the opportunity to take a city slicker around, recently I've been involved with some people who came here from Queens, New York.
Oh boy, a little culture shock.
And a family member of this new family to Ripley came to visit, and I stopped in to say hello, and I said, well, what do you think? And he stood on the porch looking over a 230-acre farm, looking a little bereft and saying, where do you go to the grocery store? I can walk to the grocery store. I can walk wherever I need to
Oh,
go.
yeah, the
Whereas
corner stores.
we have to plan, you know.
Yeah.
When you live in a rural lifestyle, you have to plan a little more carefully for things.
People always say, well, how far is it to the grocery store or to the wherever? I go, we don't talk in miles, we talk in minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. Everything's
different.
kind of 20 or 30
Yeah,
minutes.
it's not a big deal.
Yeah, just what it is. It's a good life.
It's a good life. So, all right, you've lived in Ripley and you've been involved with real estate all those years? Or?
For 10 years.
Okay.
I've been there. I've worked in a number of different jobs. You know, living in Chautauqua County, you have to be pretty innovative to keep yourself employed. There are only so many jobs, and so quite often you have to invent your own. Many people do. And so I've done a lot of different things in the course of my career to keep food on the table.
Sure. Yeah, I agree with you. Even though I was an educator most of my career, I keep reinventing myself like every 5 years. And so it's fun, you know, and you can do that around here. So today we're going to be talking about the YWCA and things like that. So why don't you sent me a bunch of pictures, and we don't need to go into that quite yet, but what's the story behind the Arts and Crafts Festival? I have performed there a number of years, but it goes long, long ago before I ever got involved with it.
It does have a really long history. The person who founded the Arts and Crafts Festival is Linda Dunn, and I'm sure you must know
Dun,
Linda.
dun, dun, dun. She watches the show, Linda Dunn.
I hope she's
JB
watching
Dunn.
us now. So Linda founded it. She
was mayor at the time, I think.
You know, I tried to research that fact to see if it were true or not. It seems reasonable that that would be when she would do it. But she saw other communities in the region doing similar things, and she thought it would be a great way to attract visitors to Westfield. I asked her to come and be on this with us today.
Oh my God, that would have been hilarious.
But she declined.
Linda and I are good buddies.
I imagine you are. I imagine you laugh a lot.
We're in Rotary together. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I admire Linda very much. She's one of the people who served to set the example for me for what you do when you're a member of a community. You just do.
Super. You do.
You do. You say yes and you do. And she's the queen of that.
Take charge.
Yeah. So Linda started out, I think originally she had 15 or 16 vendors when she started it. She charged $5 per person. And her theory was that over the years, as she kept that fee very low, the less you charge them, the less they demand of you. And so, you know, they're there, you put them in place, and they're on their own.
How about it?
Which is a great thing, because now we're in 2012, there were 150 vendors.
Holy mackerel.
And now it's $170 per. So while it's grown, the fee has grown, and the expectations from the vendors has grown too.
Sure.
So there's a lot of vendor wrangling involved in this, and I think anyone who has worked in this capacity has found that to be the most challenging thing. The festival is 44 years old, and 14 years ago the YWCA took it over from the founding organization. I wish I had more history to share, but along with this, there are several other traditions that are very long-standing with the Arts and Crafts Festival, and one is the Presbyterian Men's Chicken Barbecue.
Oh gosh, yes.
And these men, I know, Don Eno, I called him to ask him if he could remember when it started, and he knows it's at least 15 or 20 years. So this means on some of the hottest days of the summer, the Presbyterian men put up this barbecue pit.
I've eaten them many times.
And they create the Chiavetta-style chicken and serve it. And I know my son, who is now 29, we lived in that neighborhood of the church, and he had the run of the neighborhood, as kids in Westfield do, and he was gone for quite a while, and he came home and said, I said, where have you been? And he said, I've been working at the chicken barbecue. So, well, what have you been doing? And he said, well, you know, the guys, they had me shucking corn. So they had these kids sitting around shucking the corn. And he felt he was really participating in a big deal, and something important. And I think that's another thing that events like this instill in people as they cross the generation.
Multi-generational, yeah.
Something I noticed, I was serving as a volunteer at the festival for the Y a couple of years ago for 2 days. I just watched the traffic go by for 2 days, and what I noticed was the predominance of family groups going through together. You could recognize the mother-daughter.
Multi-generational, right?
The mother, the daughter.
Children.
That too. There was one family who came through with 4 generations. It was an event. And then the sisters. You also see sisters.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And I think it carries on. They've probably been doing that since they were little, going to that arts and crafts
And the other
festival.
thing I see, because as you know, I'm in the gazebo every year and I play there, I see best friends together. Old high school friends or grew up together. I'll see a lot of women, and you can tell they're chatter, and the husbands are always walking 20 steps behind saying, why am I
Or not
here?
present at all.
They're not present. But it's a fun time for them. But so food's involved.
Well, there is food. Although we're often in competition with other larger festivals, so we aren't able to attract the full range of festival foods that you would
Right.
expect. But generally, there's some awesome kettle corn and the kind of German festival nuts and Italian sausage and hot dogs and pulled pork and all of that.
Curly fries, if I remember. Somebody's got curly fries, I think, maybe.
And fried dough
You're right,
and
dough dodgers.
things like that. Those are always very popular.
But that's not what the festival's about. But that's a good part of it, though. So tell me, what do you mean by arts and crafts? I mean, anything goes, or how does that work?
That's a really good question and an important one, I think. This show is producer only, so you must create what you sell. You cannot buy it from someone else. You cannot have a sweatshop.
So you're not going to put
cannot
something
import
over
it.
made in Korea or China or any place else.
And you vendors are informed beforehand that if we find that they are reselling product, then they can be asked to either put it away or they can be asked to leave. So we ask them to send us pictures. We like to see their workshop to make sure that it's legitimate, that they really are producing.
You know, I never knew
goods.
that. I never knew that, because when you go to some of those tents, there's so much stuff there, and you think, oh, that's just knockoffs from New York City or somebody brought it over. So that's all handmade stuff?
Well, it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be.
I can't attest to it actually being, but you know, if it's not, they've taken all the tags off and it passes muster.
All right, before we go really too far, let's have the dates and times for the festival. We'll announce those a couple of times. So this is where I say get your calendars out. Let's mark it down on your calendars and on your iPhones.
Well, the most important thing to remember about the Westfield YWCA Arts and Crafts Festival, it is always on the last weekend in July, always, 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 which this year means Friday the 29th and Saturday the 30th of July. And the vendors open at 9 a.m. and close at 6 p.m. on Friday and 5 p.m. on Saturday.
Okay.
And it's free admission. And we also offer parking, satellite parking, and a shuttle service, so people don't have to worry.
Okay, so where are the shuttle services? At the school?
We'll have shuttle stops marked, posted around the park, and then we're using the bus parking lot. The school is offering us this
Okay.
service.
And how much is that?
That's free.
This whole thing's free?
Yeah, everything's free.
And 150 vendors?
We're going to have 100 this year.
100 vendors. So you can go to an event with 100 vendors for free, and they'll shuttle you there for free.
Yeah.
Well, what more could you want?
We
for
also
the
have free porta potties, which is a really nice feature.
I didn't know that you had to pay for a porta potty anymore.
Well, I couldn't think of anything else to offer for free, so I just threw that in
And the
there.
music is free.
And, another tradition that you can look forward to. So you know about the chicken barbecue, but the hospital auxiliary has a pie tent.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And has for, well, let's see, at least we estimate about 25 years minimum the pie tent has existed. And you might be able to help me with something. Perhaps you know something about this. But I called Marilyn Hemmer to
I
get
know Marilyn.
the history of the pie tent. And the Westfield Hospital Auxiliary took this over from a group that she thought was something like Wives of Agriculture,
Oh, could be.
or Women of Progressive Agriculture, or some
I'll tell you
similar
who
thing.
knows that. And if she's watching,
it would
right,
be Helen.
Helen Barron, call us if
Yeah.
you know the answer to this question.
And this information came too late for me to call Helen.
Well, that sounds reasonable because Helen makes to die for grape pie.
She makes to die for any pie.
Oh my God! Last year, I walked by and they said, "What kind of pie would you like?" I said, "You got any grape?" You go, "Yeah." I go, "Oh my God!"
Yeah,
It's
but
just-
that is Concord grape pie is so rich. A little goes a long way.
yeah.
The sugar rush is
And
just
folks,
intense.
if you've never had grape pie, you might say, "What?" I'm telling you, I guarantee that too. It's out of this world. It's you would never think of that. All right. We have a question here that just popped up. I forgot to tell you. I get messages on my iPad
Wow,
too.
how modern.
We're very modern. What does the vendor fee get? Does it get electric, water, gas, tent, tables? And where does the money go to? I don't ask these questions. They pop up here.
That's a great question. For the $170, you have a guaranteed space that we hope will be comfortable and useful for you. We promise you really good traffic. We give you free porta potties.
What about electricity?
There are electric sites available, but only a few, and so it can be arranged if we know ahead of time that
For
electricity.
the most
is
part,
needed.
unless you're working at the site and you need some electricity, most everybody's static. I mean, they're displaying things
It's
or
true.
whatever.
So everyone brings everything they
Right,
need.
bring their
They
own
come in, they
tents.
bring their tents, their tables, their chairs, and their materials and their workers.
And if I remember right, it's all laid out. Here's section 101, and this is where you set up, and you've got it painted on the grass or whatever.
So what the vendor fee goes for is to support our programs. All of it goes to apart from paying for the costs associated with the show, which we try to keep very, very low. This is the major fundraiser for the YWCA for the year, and we hope it will bring in between $10,000 and $15,000 to help support the YWCA.
That's great.
So the vendors are one of our major contributors. They are helping us
And
do
they're-
our good work.
And that's typical. That's part of the business world. Is you rent a little space and you try to sell your goods. How about we show some pictures you sent, and you could we'll just kind of go through them, and you could narrate a little bit on those. So that we could.
Okay.
I'll do it, but I'll make stuff
Well,
up.
they're pretty simple.
I make things up.
That would be fun.
Okay, let's just go through the pictures one by one. Okay, we have a picture of a butterfly collection. No, we don't. Go ahead.
Oh, this is one of the artists that you'll see at the Arts and Crafts Festival. She's also at the Farmers Market, and she works particularly in paper.
Okay, and she's local?
She lives in Bradford, I think.
Okay, well, that's cool. That's just about local. Okay, just keep on going.
Oh, just clearly handmade aprons and bibs for children, and this is I wasn't prepared to. I didn't really study
It's okay.
these well
Okay,
enough.
so we would say linens, and this looks like
Now this
pottery.
these are
pottery.
repurposed sterling silver flatware. Sherry Swanson is the artist who does this, and she has something new every single week when I see her work at our farmers market. And she's just clever. I wish you could see that what she's done is reshape these pieces of flatware to look like animals and people.
Oh, those are knives and forks and
They-
spoons.
Yeah, she'll make them look like musicians and horses and
How cool is that?
birds. She's a fabulous artist,
Okay.
so you can look forward to that.
Well, we just want to give everybody a little flavor of what's out there because maybe people have never been to the arts festival. Okay.
Now, this is a Japanese potter who will be at the Arts and Crafts Festival, and what you're looking at, the bowls with the whisks on the bottom there's a texture that allows you to grate garlic, and then you can make dressing right in that bowl. It's very clever.
I've never heard of that before. That's cool. Okay.
Soap, handmade soap,
Oh,
which is,
so those are pads of paper.
yeah, those
See,
are
I would have said, and you can get personalized, no paper. No, it's not paper. It's soap.
bars of
I can-
cold processed soap.
You know, when I'm playing in the gazebo, maybe that's who it is. All of a sudden, I will smell
You get it.
like certain flavors or lavenders are really strong, and so I bet that's who those
That
folks are.
probably is.
Okay, we have more.
Oh, well, who can resist this?
I can resist this.
Well, anyone who has the grandmother gene gets riveted to this.
Oh my gosh.
The tutus for the little children, and quite often you'll see them. The kids will just put them on right on the spot.
There's so many young ladies that are in dance these days. They have to get their costumes and things like that. They love to go dancing around all over the place.
They do
I have
boas
nieces
and
my
tutus,
granddaughter.
tiaras and boas
And so,
tutus.
will she be there this year?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, there's a cool
Just
shot.
an overhead shot. The park has never looked better than it looks right now. Have you talked to John Paul Wolfe about the new fountain at the McClurg?
Yes, John Paul Wolfe will talk my ear off about that fountain. Yes, I've been there and I saw it.
When I walked
gorgeous.
into the park this morning at 6, that was the only sound, the sound of the water dripping off the umbrella of the sculpture.
It's beautiful. If you haven't been, folks, if you haven't been at the McClurg Mansion in Moore Park there, it's gorgeous. Okay, this is a shot from the mansion. I recognize this.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot it's not crowded. I mean, to me, sometimes you go to these festivals and you feel packed in, but I walk through there now and it's people move casually and it's just a lot of fun to be
Well, there was a time when we had so many vendors at the height of the arts and crafts festival movement.
Right.
The crowds, the park was packed so tightly with vendors that air could not circulate through the park. It was really kind of claustrophobic. It has expanded to use the back area between Elm Street and the Presbyterian Church, so when it's a very large show, they've spread it out more.
Okay, we have two more pictures, I've been told.
Oh, this is a guy from Ripley.
Yes, I know who it is.
I don't recall his name, but
Kevin.
his work is very, very popular. You see little kids walking around the festival with these ducks.
All handmade, local.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen his work. And then there's one last one. Just another shot, I guess.
Yeah, just a shot down the main walkway toward the gazebo.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the nice thing about it is it's in a park. It's deeply shaded, lots of old trees, and there's always a place to cool off. And you can eat. You can eat the chicken barbecue. You can go to the food festival part, which is separate from the rest. It's along Elm Street.
And the other part is he's got great shops and restaurants all around it as well. I mean, Westfield's really, really cool. A lot of our towns are cool, and Westfield's really cool.
Well, people who do come to the Arts and Crafts Festival should keep in mind that their dining opportunities are many. We have the Parkview Cafe in Brazil's, and Calarco's, and Jimmy's, and CJ's, all on Main Street. Vine City straight down from there.
Yep.
Then the beautiful old Bark Grill down on Pearl Street. When Pigs Fly down on the water. The newly
Jack's Barcelona?
renamed Jack's. Barcelona Jack's Drive-In, which is a classic American drive-in. You can eat inside or outside there. So, yeah, come to Westfield. And another thing to consider about festivals in general is the economic impact that they have on the larger community. Because it's easy to see how a person could spend again as much money in the community as they spent at the event itself. They might stop for gas, they might stop for a meal, they might go to other shops on Main Street or go to the new auction house to buy an antique.
And it's fun, and it's something to do. And whenever I go to the festival, there's always something that catches my eye. And
what caught your eye the last time you were there?
The pottery. I like pottery. I don't know what there is about it. It's just I like the earth tones and the shapes and things like
That's
that.
primal.
And the woodworking. Usually, my wife and I are really into wood, and so it's always really nice to see. All right. So one more time, and we're going to come at it one more time. The Arts and Crafts Festival is when and what times?
All right, it's Friday, July 29th and July 30th, and it's from 9 until 6 on Friday and from 9 until 5 on Saturday.
Okay, a question just came through. I don't know if somebody called in because they just relayed me the questions. What about the weather? Since it's been kind of quirky this year.
Yeah,
rain or shine?
Yeah, it is rain or shine and no refunds.
Bring your bumper chute. Bring your umbrella.
So we will go
Okay.
regardless.
No matter what. Okay, folks, you're watching Chautauqua Sunrise. I'm Doc Hamels, and my guest today is Arianne Correll, and we're talking about all good things that are cool in Westfield right now, including the YWCA's Arts and Crafts Festival coming up in July. So now let's go back to the YW. Can we do that?
Yeah, please do.
There's your website. These guys are good.
They are good.
So what do we need? What should we know that we don't know about the YWCA, other than it's like 150 years old or something like that?
Well, it is 122 years old. It originated in 1894.
Oh, the Westfield one is, but the parent.
Oh, the overall.
Overall is like
I'm not.
before.
I don't
before
have my facts
Civil
for
War.
you. Yeah.
1858, I think I read. But yours is 129 years old.
122.
Oh, 122. I don't
In
listen well.
1894, it started in rented rooms,
Mm-hmm.
and then in 1910 we were able to move into our present building when the Patterson Library moved out of that building into the new Patterson Library.
The library is where the Y is
Yeah.
now?
Yeah. And then in
know that.
1941, Dr. Moore endowed
Mm-hmm.
the YWCA so it could be renovated to better suit its purpose.
And what is the purpose?
Well, at that time, probably something different from what it is today.
Okay.
The purpose of the YWCA is to empower women, eliminate racism, and promote freedom and dignity and equality for
I'm
all.
going to ask you a really hard question. This is a serious question. Every day I get up, I watch TV, I look things on Facebook. I have this terrible feeling that we're working backwards these days. I think that racism is raging again. I feel like I'm back in the 60s. Women's rights are getting beat up left and right. What's going on? Do you sense that at the Y? Maybe not locally, but in a global way?
Yeah, well, we're in a pocket in Westfield, so it's hard to look around us and see a problem, a race problem. I think, well,
I told you it would be a tough question.
it is a tough question, and I hesitate because it's a volatile one. I think that we talk about eliminating racism, and then there are forces that are doing everything possible
That's
to
where I'm
promote
coming from.
racism. So we have to look into our hearts. One thing that I learned recently, doing the self-assessment that YWCA USA asked us to do to look at our chapter, and the question was, what are you actively doing to eliminate racism? Not passively, by opening your doors to anyone,
right.
actively by bringing people in. So, because what happens, I think one of the most beautiful things that's happened in my family, the most beautiful way to erase racism is somebody puts a grandchild in your arms or a great niece, and that child does not have the features that you have, does not have European features, has Thai features or Korean features or African American features, and suddenly all of that falls away. Well, so that's actively eliminating racism. That's
Right.
embracing human beings regardless of their color.
So you're doing what you can in your world, in your piece of your part of your real estate. I mean, your chapter can't take care of the whole world, but you can take care of what's going on right here, right?
But we haven't done a good job at it. And I recognize when I responded, no, we don't have any active programs. So we raised money with a special fundraiser for women's programs with the intention of dedicating ourselves to actively empowering women and actively eliminating racism.
Okay.
So we're going to have to import some people, in order to make this happen.
But you still beat the drum nonetheless, and keep that word out, because people leave Westfield, they go on to other jobs, and they got to carry that spirit with them, don't they?
Well, that's a very good point. That is our
They're
job.
ambassadors.
Yeah.
Because right now we need all that we can get from what I'm looking at.
I agree with that. Boy, that's a heavy responsibility. But to speak to that, what the Y is focused on for many years and done it very, very well in the community is child services, and the YWCA has a preschool program. It has a universal pre-K program. It has before and after school care. It has an after-school enrichment program. It has a girls' STEM program. It has summer activities for the kids. A group of kids come into the Y every day, and they're given a hot breakfast, and then they go to the park, and they spend the middle part of the day at the park. They have free lunch at the park, and then they come back to the Y in the afternoon before going home.
Okay, let's hold on kid services, child services, because we got a phone call.
Okay.
And I promise you, we'll come right back. I see I wrote it right down here. Okay, good morning, caller. How are you?
Oh, good morning. This is Linda Spalding. Good morning, Arianna. Good morning,
Good
Doc.
morning.
Good morning.
I would like you to know, Arianna, I always come to the festival in Westfield.
Good job.
I look forward to it. It's a wonderful event. And there are so many exciting things happening in Westfield these days. It's a great place to visit.
Well, great.
Thank you for saying that. We think so.
Yes. I love going down there, especially on a Friday night. You've got so many things happening. So many of the businesses are doing things.
Linda, when you go to the Arts Festival, what do you look for?
Well, I like pottery, like you said, and I also like the artistic glass-blown features. If there ever is anything like that, you don't always see that at festivals, but sometimes you do. I love the glass art.
Okay. So,
And unusual things like I like to buy gifts for people, something unusual like, like maybe an unusual leather wallet for a man, or a very different kind of a purse for a woman, or artistic earrings, things like that.
as according to the women in my family, you can never have too many purses.
That's correct. That's correct.
I have one wallet, and when it falls apart, I get a new one every 10 years.
So, Linda, were you in Westfield last night?
No, I wasn't. But I very often do go there on a Friday night.
Well, this was our, it wasn't First Friday, but we celebrated First Friday last night in honor of it being reunion weekend. So the streets were filled with probably thousands of people last night, and the Westfield Barcelona Community Chamber and their coordinator Jill Sante put on this great event with several bands.
Ta-da!
Doc was playing
Barcelona
last
Blues
night.
Band was playing.
And food vendors and craft vendors of all kinds lined the streets and Moore Park. And there was a cruise in. So that was all thanks to the Westfield Barcelona Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, they do a terrific job.
I
love
agree.
going there on a Friday night. Well, I just love going there. And Westfield has always been such a beautiful location, and I'm glad they're still keeping their antique shops going.
Well, we've had a rebirth with the sale of the oh my goodness,
Sarif?
Serifs. After all
Serif.
these years, how could that name have slipped out of my memory? But the new company that's taken over that site and is running auctions indoors there, that's been a great boon. We were afraid that our antiques business was becoming was just disappearing, and this gives new hope.
So, Linda, what's going on in your world?
Well, there was a real deluge about an hour ago. I got drenched, and so did my dog.
We were hiding out here in the studio. Is it sunny out yet?
Oh, yeah, the sun has come out. It's lovely out
The
now.
bicentennial is going to take place in 8 minutes here. So,
Yeah. Well, there are services with the Chautauqua County Office for the Aging, and the services with the Senior Employment Program. We have jobs, wonderful candidates. I've got some really great people on board now that are looking for jobs with the private sector. So we have a lot
Linda,
of great people.
I have a question for you. Is it your office that works with the senior daycare program that is in the Y?
Well, the senior daycare, that is the adult daycare centers. And we're very close with them, but they're separate. They're not part of county government. You probably know Karen Lux.
I have met her.
Yeah, and she comes to your to the Westfield site. There is a center right there in the building where the Y is.
Yes, I know. When I volunteer there in my office, I actually have a window into that room from where I work.
Yeah.
They boss me around.
Yeah, and Frank Bursick is the director. He probably comes down from time to time. It's a great situation for families. They do terrific work with the seniors, and we have our participants that we call senior aides who work there. And anytime I put one of our participants there to be like an activities aide or whatever, they just love it there. It's just a terrific work environment.
Well, it also, I noticed that the aides who come into work there often gain confidence and go off. They spin off and go elsewhere to get full-time employment. And
yes, and that's the whole purpose of our program, is to get people back into the work world. They have greater confidence and a better chance of getting a job if they're already working. And so we put them in an environment that is conducive to their abilities and will enhance their skills. And then after that, they go off and find better positions.
Well, I can tell you firsthand from what I observe, it's working.
And Linda, who's your number one recruiter?
You are.
That's right here at Chautauqua Sunrise. We connect people here every week, right?
Yes, and he's my job developer too. He's terrific.
Well, we're always looking for volunteers at the Y. If anyone is interested in coming in, right now we are in desperate need of gardeners to help us with our flower beds. Anyone? But there are all sorts of activities at the Y that are going on, and we'd love to hear from people who have ideas of how the Y could better serve the community and better serve women.
Yes.
All right, Lynn, well, have a wonderful weekend, and stop by at the Bicentennial in Ripley, okay?
I certainly will. You have a terrific weekend, too.
Okay.
Thanks again.
Real good. Okay, I just got a last-minute announcement I got to squeeze in here, okay? July 10th, the Lake Shore, where'd it go? I lost it. The Lake Shore Street Rod Harbor Cruising is at Point Gratiot Park in Dunkirk, and that is going to be tomorrow, 10 o'clock. So, in case you're interested, check that out. We've got 2.5 minutes left of the show. Child Services, YWCA, Westfield, New York. So, how do they get a hold of you if they have questions or they want their children to be involved with that program?
Well, just call the Y.
What's the phone number?
Oh.
They'll tell you here in a second.
Yeah, please. I have it in.
Up here for me.
I have it in my memory, in the phone memory, so I don't have it committed to my own memory.
Your own phone. So you have lots of services for children. How about you talked about adult seniors?
We have senior daycare in the building, but we're just a landlord.
Okay, but it's there.
Yeah.
How about?
Oh, we have a fitness center, by the way.
Tell us about this fitness center.
And we rent rooms. We have accommodations. So, and we rent the assembly room and the living room, and we have a gym to rent and a full kitchen to rent. So, our fitness center has rowing machines, elliptical machines, weight machines, everything you would expect a fitness center. It's a subscription membership. A person can be involved for $25 a month, or a family for $60
that's
a month.
Hardly anything. And if they want to contact you, it's 326-2011.
Thank you.
We're here to serve my team. They send me information just as we speak. Okay, Arianne Correll, you got 1 minute left of the show. What are some other highlights about Westfield or the Y that you want to share with us?
Oh, we're having the farmers market is celebrating 10 years in Westfield.
So
that's
10 years
a big
old.
deal.
Happy
10
birthday.
years. We also have Westfield also has the Crossroads Arts and Crafts Market up on Route 21, Chestnut Street, up if you're going toward Sherman, and that's celebrating 20 years.
Wow.
So we have lots of opportunities for people to go out and look for handmade products.
And you're connected with all these organizations.
Crossroads, no, only as someone who
So cares
who's
about the
interested in
community.
the community. Yeah.
And what's going on at the farmers market? What would they see there today?
Oh well, there should be artisanal meat, Amish baked goods, including the giant-sized donuts that are so popular with everyone. Lots of fresh produce now is coming on, pretty much anything you could want in produce and eggs.
Okay, Arianne Correll, the festival coordinator for the Arts and Crafts Festival coming up July 29th and 30th. Thank you for being on my show. You have to come back again sometime. We got to dig more into the services of the Y. Okay?
I'd like that. Thank you.
You've been watching Chautauqua Sunrise. Have a wonderful weekend. Check out all the fabulous things that are going on in Chautauqua County. We'll see you again next week. We got another great show in store for you. Take care. Use a sunscreen. I'm Doc Hamels.
Well, thank you. That was